So here's how they line up for the four-wheel drive A final. Starting on pole position will be your Norman from Germany with the Orion-powered Durango. Second on the grid from the USA, Ryan Cavalieri, defending world champion with an Orion-powered Associated. Third on the grid from Canada, it's Ty Tessman with a Hot Bodies powered by Orion. Fourth place on the starting grid, another American driver, Ryan Mayfield, with an Associated powered by Reedy and LRP. Fifth is Lee Martin from the UK with a Muchmore and Viper powered Tamiya. Sixth place, Steve Hartson from the USA with a Reedy and LRP powered Associated. Seventh place, Ryan Lutz, also from the USA with a Tekin powered Durango. Eighth place is that multiple 12 scale world champion Naoto Matsukura from Japan with the Yokomo. In 9th place, Travis Amezcua from the USA with a Muchmore and Viper powered Durango. And 10th place, last driver into the World Championship A final is Dakota Fenn from the USA with a Team Orion powered TLR. That's the A final grid. Let's get underway with the first of the finals. So here we go with A final leg number one, and it's your Neumann getting a good start there from the pole position. And then, oh no, well, he got it very wrong on the landing there, but then absolute carnage behind us, cars going everywhere. That puts Jorn through into a really clear lead, and who's going to be up into second place? I think that's Steve Hartson up into second place from way down the grid, and then I think that's Dakota Fend up to third from 10th on the grid. So that carnage at the first corner massively shaking things up, giving Jorn a huge lead at the moment. Steve Hartson from 6th on the grid is up to second. Then it looks like we've got Dakota up into third place from 10th on the grid. So Jorn Neumann out in front. Oh, is that Jorn make? Yeah, Jorn makes a big mistake as they come around in front of the hill now. It puts Hartson out to the lead, and then we've got Ryan Lutz now up into second place, changing positions all the time. What's going on here in this A final? It's a World Championship A final, and there's well, crashes going on all over the place. So we've got Steve Hartson out in front, Ryan Lutz in the Durango in second, Jorn Neumann, his teammate, right behind him in third place as they go over the jumps at the far side of the circuit. Then a whole gaggle of cars behind that. But the race leader, Steve Hartson, driving the Associated, the American driver, out in front at the moment. Lutz in second, Neumann is in third as they battle for second and third, comes down the hill, but out in front, Hartson still with a commanding lead at the moment. He's got a lead of, what, about 2 seconds. He's leading through all that switchback section, really. That was the lead he had. And then this battle we've got for second place between Lutz and Neumann as the pair of them go over the jumps coming onto the back straightaway. But Steve Hartson leading this one out. Lutz in second, being challenged hard by Neumann as they go across the table triple. That's the only jump section that's been slightly changed from the two-wheel drive event. So if you've seen the two-wheel drive coverage there, those are the only jumps that are slightly different. Because of the amount of rain they had, they decided not to change the track in this four-wheel drive event. So the drivers had a little bit of experience on the track, but it's going to count for nothing. The four-wheel drive bug is completely different to drive to the two-wheel drive ones they raced earlier in the week. So no doubt about it, Steve Hartson leading this one with Lutz in second, Neumann in third place. And Neumann manages to sneak past Lutz there as they come onto the straightaway. So now move Neumann up to second, Lutz down to third. And now Neumann going to have a chance of maybe hunting down Steve Hartson there. We're 2 minutes in, so we've got 3 minutes of racing left. Neumann gets a bit of a bad landing then, so but they are definitely closing in on Steve Hartson. So Steve with the Associated, powered by Reedy LRP, leading the A final here at the World Championships from Chico in California at the Silver Dollar Raceway. Jorn Neumann running second place with that Durango. Team Orion power in there, and then we've got his Durango teammate Ryan Lutz in third. And a slight bobble there for Neumann. Drops him into the clutches of Ryan Lutz once again. But out in front, it is Steve Hartson still leading this one out. Neumann in second, Lutz is third. The Durango duo trying to close down the Associated as Hartson takes us down the back straightaway. Hartson clears the table triple. Then into the second jump section, the battle between the Durango drivers for second and third place still rages on as we've got 2 minutes of action left here. Oh, there's a mistake from Neumann which allows Lutz back into second, but Neumann not giving up, attacking Lutz right again. But Steve Hartson still leading this one out. He's got it easy for himself so far from that first lap, or that first mistake from Neumann. And then he's let everyone else race for second place at the moment. Lutz now holding the second place as he goes down the back straight, but Hartson well clear of that second set of jumps, and we've seen a mistake behind from Neumann as well. Neumann puts it off the track, so that gives Lutz a clear second place now in this A final, leg number one. Still 3 legs of the A final, but then Lutz gets it all wrong going through the switchback section. Hartson has got a tremendous lead now. Wow, look at the lead of is that going to be Ty Tessman, I think, now up into the second spot? I think it's Ty Tessman up to second, Lutz down to third. And there's Steve Hartson still leading it one. Steve Hartson out in front. And Tesman in second, Lutz is third. Well, the lead for Steve Hartson at the moment with 1 minute of racing left is absolutely massive, as we see a mistake from Lutz there. And that's going to give Ty Tesman a clear second place at the moment. But Neumann is closing in on him once again, but Neumann clipping a few curbs behind there, but Steve Hartson still leading this one out. The American driver, he's well known in America, he's a very fantastic driver, but if you had to pick him for an A-final leg win, I don't think you'd have done that prior to these A-finals here in four-wheel drive. But he's now got 30 seconds to hang on to in order to win the first leg of the A-final. And as I say that, Hartson rolls it over, coming through the switch on the exit of the switchback section, but such is his lead that he had time to be marshalled and still hangs on to the lead. Tesman running in second, as Hartson continuing to lead with 15 seconds to go, so it's possibly this lap and maybe one more lap of racing here in A-final, leg number 1 at the four-wheel drive Off-Road World Championships. Hartson clears the section in front of the driver's stand, going through the switchbacks now, around the sweeper he goes, the pack are closing in. Time has expired, so this is the final lap here. Steve Hartson, has everyone else finished? I think they have. So yes, Steve Hartson wins A-final, leg number 1. So here we go into A-final, leg number 2. And of course, if Steve Hartson wins this one, he will be the world champion, but starting 6th on the grid, it's going to be difficult. Neumann starting on the pole position, and here we go as they get away. Across the jumps, and Neumann, Cavalieri, nice and clean this time as they get across that first jump section. Cavalieri looking to the inside as they come down the hill, across the section in front of the driver's stand. It's Neumann out in front. No, Cavalieri now to the lead. Is that Cavalieri? No, it is Neumann still hanging on to the lead. He looked like he had a bad landing there, but no, Neumann hangs on to the lead. Cavalieri in second place. But we've got a battle there. Ty Tesman holding in third at the moment. But back to the front, we're looking at the race leader, Johan Neumann, with the Durango down the main straight, followed by Ryan Cavalieri, the defending world champion. These two essentially battled for the world title 2 years ago in Finland. That time it went Cavalieri's way after Johan Neumann had a motor failure in one of the A-finals. And oh no, it's Cavalieri getting completely sideways and takes out half the field behind him and leaves a broken buggy there of, I think that's Ryan Mayfield, ends up stuck at the side. And all of that has now put Noto Matsukura up to the second spot, Lutz up to third. But Johan Neumann leading this one round with his Durango. 1 minute into this 5-minute race, A-final, leg number 2. Of course, Steve Hartson won the first one from Ty Tesman, but now we've got a completely different set of cars at the front of this one. It's Neumann from Naoto Matsukura, from Ryan Lutz, those 3 cars, and then there's a slight gap back to the 4th place battle with Ty Tesman and I think Steve Hartson battling over the 4th spot at the moment. But it's Johan Neumann leading this A-final, leg number 2 at the World Championships in Chico in California, Silver Dollar Raceway. Johan didn't make the main in the two-wheel drive event, but that certainly hasn't hampered his pace here in four-wheel drive. Completely different driving style with the car, and yeah, he's certainly got into the rhythm with this prototype Durango car, leading this one out. Naoto Matsukura, we've seen him so many times at 12 scale and on-road classes, but he is a mean buggy driver as well, and he is closing down Johan Neumann at the moment in the lead. Johan Neumann Johan rolls it over, coming onto the table triple section. That puts Matsukura briefly into the lead, but a fantastic set of recovery jumps there from Johan Neumann puts him back to the point. So then we've got a 3-way battle for the lead, with Ryan Lutz right behind these 2 cars going through the switchback section now. Across the timing line goes Johan Neumann, the multiple European champion in 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive classes. And Naoto Matsukura trying to find a way past, gets past Neumann as they go across the jump section before the wall ride, come onto the main straight. So Matsukura now leading this one. Neumann in second, Lutz is there or thereabouts in third place. So back with Durangos running 2 and 3. The Yokomo out in front in this A-final, leg number 2. We are halfway through. 2.5 minutes down, 2.5 minutes go. Still plenty of racing action, and you can see the gap between these first 3 cars. So close at the moment as they clear the jumps at the far side of the circuit around the wall ride and onto the main straightaway. Naoto Matsukura from Japan has raced a few times in America, trying to get used to the track conditions that we like to see here, and has certainly, well, despite being well known for his on-road skills, clearly really showing he's got the skills in off-road as well, as he's leading an A-final here at the World Championships. Johan Neumann not giving up though, still holding there in second place. looks like this is going to go into a third leg, whatever happens. Steve Hartson not in the picture at the moment. That he'd have to win it to get this title wrapped up. So we're going to push it to a third leg by the look of it. We've got just under 2 minutes of racing left here in this leg as Neumann makes a big mistake coming off the table triple section, throws his car off the track, and that puts Ryan Lutz up to second. Naoto Matsukura leading it. Lutz in second. Neumann is third, and this is going to throw the points completely out the window. We're going to, I don't even know, have a clue who's going to win this one, even if we're sort of stood as we are now. It's got yes, it is Naoto Matsukura still leading. Lutz is still second. His teammate Your Norman closing back in from third place. But the Japanese Yokomo driver leads them around with 1 minute and 10 seconds left here in A final, leg number 2. We saw a good run from Lutz in the previous leg, but it didn't go his way. Didn't quite get the luck. A couple of bad landings put him out of contention really for the win. And now the two Durango drivers battling over second place, and that's giving Naoto Matsukura a decent lead, in fact, as we've got 45 seconds left. Probably this lap and one more in A final, leg number 2. Naoto Matsukura, of course, took the world title in 12 scale on road in Holland for the third time in 2012, and well, everyone thought 12 scale was the class he was best at, but maybe he's showing the way here in buggy racing as well. He did start 8th on the grid, so a fantastic run here in this leg, but he's going to have to do it again if he wants a chance of the overall world title in leg number 3. 25 seconds left, so this probably is going to be the last lap here. Naoto Matsukura down the back straight, across the table triple section, difficult jumps coming off the track. Oh, he just manages to get the buggy turned in there. Goes across the second jump section, back down the hill goes Naoto Matsukura. Last few seconds of racing here. Is he going to get onto one more lap? He's going to come out and cross the line. Naoto Matsukura out onto one more lap of racing here in A final, leg number 2. Only a few drivers have made this last lap, so Naoto really got loads of clear space. He's just got to guide the buggy round over the small kicker onto the back straightaway. Across the tabletop, lands. Oh, taking that so carefully at the moment, as he then comes back across the second jump section. Again, taking that really carefully. Just a few more corners for Naoto Matsukura. Across the section in front of the driver's stand. He's done enough here. Through the switchbacks, Naoto Matsukura wins A final, leg number 2. So this is going to be it, the final race of the World Championships, and this is what it comes down to, the final leg of the four-wheel drive event. So many permutations for the win. We're just going to let this race unfold and then figure out who's won it once we add up all the points at the end. So here we go. A final, leg number 3 gets underway. Your Norman starting from the pole position once again, gets across the jump section. Ryan Cavalieri running with him in second place. And then they come back down the hill for the first time. Your Neumann from Ryan Cavalieri, the two red and yellow buggies leading the pack through the switchbacks for the first time. Around the sweeper they go. Across the small tabletop. Oh, Neumann gets completely sideways now, and that's going to put Cavalieri out in front. So it's Cavalieri from, I think that's Tesman running in second place. But battling hard there with, I think that's Steve Hartson. Another good start from Steve Hartson, from 6th on the grid up to 3rd. Of course, Steve Hartson won A final leg number 1, so he is in with a shot of this World Championship title. Cavalieri is out in front. Tesman is running second place, hunting him down. Tesman was second in the first leg, so if he can get past Cavalieri, was that going to give him a shot at this world title? We don't know, but at the moment it's Ryan Cavalieri, the defending world champion, doing everything he can, leading this A final around. So they come over the small kicker onto the back straight. As Tesman looking for a way past, trying to find a gap. Lands badly coming off the triple there, and that's allowed the rest of the pack to close right in. Who else we got there? It's Steve Hartson. We got Lee Martin as well trying to close in, but then there's a bit of a tangle behind. And up front it's closed right up again. Ryan Cavalieri now literally got the hot bodies of Ty Tesman stuck to his rear bumper as they go through the S's. That is Steve Hartson there in 3rd place, up and running with these well, the defending world champion leading this field, Ty Tesman, the double Raw national champion. And Steve Hartson there running in 3rd place, won the first A final. So this is really, this could be the battle for the World Championship title. We're not sure how the points are going to work out. We're going to let this race unfold. We've had less than 2 minutes, so just over 3 minutes of racing left here in the World Championships. 4-wheel drive electric off-road 2013 from California, and it's the American driver Ryan Cavalieri leading them across the table triple section. The Canadian driver Ty Tesman in 2nd, and the American driver Steve Hartson running in 3rd as they come back down the hill in front of the driver's stand now. Across that jump section, Tesman looking for a way past Cavalieri, can't quite find a way there. It's not been Cavalieri's world really. The double defending world champion didn't even get a podium place in 2-wheel drive. Tesman didn't even make the main in 2-wheel drive though, but they're both trying to make amends for it here in the 4-wheel drive class. as they come onto the back straight, side by side almost. Tesman looking for a way past, but denied by Cavalieri that time by. Halfway through the race now, so we've still got 2.5 minutes of racing action here at the World Championships from California. So it's the battle up front. These three buggies, nose to tail. Cavalieri, followed by Tesman and Steve Hartson. Through the S's they go. Across the jumps on the far side of the circuit. Then over the small kick and onto the back straight one more time. Immense power from these four-wheel drive buggies. Super high traction here in this four-wheel drive event also, and that's really allowing them to get the power down and make these buggies even faster than the two-wheel drive versions we saw earlier in the week. Again, Tesman looking for way past, and it's a mistake from Cavalieri on the landing. That puts Tesman up to the lead, Hartson up to second, Cavalieri drops down to third, and we've got 2 minutes left here. Just 2 minutes of racing left here in this World Championships. Tesman takes them across the jumps at the far side, around the wall ride, but that is Steve Hartson breathing right down his neck. This could be a battle between these two drivers for the World Championship title. Tesman has a second place, Hartson has a win. If it's reversed this one, we're going to go to the count back, which will be the fastest final time. I don't know how fast Hartson's was in the first leg, so they're going to let these ones race it out, and they're going to do that for another 1.5 minutes here from California. Tesman with the hot bodies, leaving Hartson with the associate. Cavalieri is there in third place with another associated. Around the wall ride one more time, onto the back straightaway. This is the battle for the World Championship title. Tesman versus Hartson. Hartson to the inside, and Hartson makes a move stick going across the triple jump there, off the end of the main straight. That jump is so difficult. The driver's been talking about that jump all week long. That's been the key point, and that's given Hartson the lead here. And he's got to hold that lead for 1 more minute, and he will be the world champion. Comes across a small tabletop jump. Into the S section they go. Across the jumps on the far side of the circuit, and then hitting the wall ride now. Hartson leading Tesman down the back straightaway. 45 seconds of racing here. This lap and probably one more, maybe an extra lap after that. It's going to be tight on the times. Hartson leading Tesman. In front of the driver's stand they go. Into the switchback section. Oh no, Hartson rolls it over. Oh, terrible mistake there from Hartson. That puts Tesman back to the point with 30 seconds left. So it's probably going to be, they might get one more lap in. I think Hartson's first run time didn't get the extra lap. So is there mistakes there? No, that's still Tesman holding the lead. There's cheers from the crowd as there's mistakes behind them, but we're focusing on this battle for the lead for the World Championship title. Ty Tesman versus Steve Hartson. You never thought Steve Hartson's name would be in that mix. Tesman rolls it over, Hartson to the point with 5 seconds left here. He's going to get round onto the extra lap, I think. Steve Hartson has got 1 lap to go before he takes the World Championship title into the S's. That's now Naoto Matsukura. Where's Naoto come from? He won the second leg. This is now the battle for the title. Coming down the back straight, it's Hartson versus Matsukura. Associate versus Yokohama. Both cars going tumbling. Who are they going to put down first? Naoto gets put down first. He waits for Hartson to go. Hartson across the jumps. Through the downhill he goes. Steve Hartson across the jump section. Naoto's crashing behind him. Here comes Hartson through the switchback, and that is going to put Steve Hartson as the world champion. You would not have predicted that before we went into this race, but Steve Hartson, a well-deserving world champion there, taking 2 A final leg wins.
Yeah, I was seeing Naoto come up on me pretty fast at the last 2 minutes or so, and me and Ty were kind of battling, and I was just kind of hoping for them to kind of make mistakes, and Ty made a mistake, which was really good.
Last lap, I tried jumping in the broken car. Oh, unlucky.
But from 8th on the grid to second place is a big achievement.
Yeah, and front 7 car in the many traffic. I'm happy. And good.